Hey friends, sorry for the delay, but it's been kind of a wild couple weeks, but I am hopping on here to start talking to you about this whole hysterectomy business. So let's see, I'm not very good at this, just kind of diving in both feet, so bear with me. As many of you know, I am 42 and I have been dealing with cysts and fibroids as long as I can remember. I technically don't know when they started growing. My guess is sometime in high school. While I was in high school, I always had longer than normal periods, like easily 7, 8, 9 days, super bad cramps, super heavy bleeding. But in high school, I feel like 9 out of 10 of us girls are miserable. So I don't really feel like there was ever any real concern around it. It was just kind of like, oh, well, suck it up, buttercup. Like, it is what it is. Fast forward 21, I got pregnant. Went in for my ultrasound and the doctor was just very blasé, like, yeah, so it looks like you have some cysts and fibroids. Many people get them. It's very normal. No big deal. Don't be alarmed. And it was like, oh, okay, well, that explains some things for sure. But it was not, there was no concern around it. So go through baby time. A couple years later, things started to get really bad. My fibroids and cysts were really, really bad. They were bursting, so I was hemorrhaging on and off. There were times when I didn't know if I was on my period or if something had burst. When I tell you that the pain associated to them bursting is out of control, I would rather have another 10-pound baby than ever go through any of that again. That is no joke. So, going through different doctors, I was young, not always the most stable situations, so didn't have a solid doctor that I saw all the time. So numerous doctors I saw over the years that really didn't make a big deal about it. Finally, about 26, went to a doctor who, for what it's worth, was like, okay, let's take out your IUD and see if maybe the hormones associated with that are causing this growth. Maybe this will help. Took out my IUD, and then about a month later, surprise, I was pregnant with my son. So again, the fibroids and cysts kind of get put to the back burner, and it was baby time. Had my son, a couple years go by, things are, steadily getting back to what I know is normal, which was freaking miserable. Went to numerous doctors over the years. Again, nobody really wanted to hear me out. It was always very just like, well, it does, it runs in your family. Well, yes, I do have aunts that have the same issues. It's hereditary, there's really not much we can do about it. Nobody ever talked to me about things that would help slow the growth, what could be causing the growth. I didn't get an IUD put back in, so then we obviously knew that wasn't the problem. Very frustrating. So, feeling so unheard over so many years, I just got to the point where I quit dealing with it, trying to fix it. I was just like, okay, well, this is what it is. For us as women, we learn to just navigate through the pain. I did that, starting in high school. I had to do all the things. This was not going to get in the way of me, going to cheer, going to school, going to work. And it certainly wasn't going to slow me down from hanging out with my friends. And then, becoming a mom, doing all the things and working, you just learn to function through the pain. So that's what I did for years and years. Fast forward to 42, I decided I was going to find a brand new doctor and see if I couldn't get something handled, because it had gotten to the point where I was bleeding about 2 weeks out of the month, so low on iron, so worn out. My life revolved around pain. I was always in pain. I was just miserable. It was hard to function. So I found a doctor who is amazing. I've never, I never expected to have a doctor that made me feel so heard just from the jump. It was like, okay, no, this is alarming. This is concerning. You shouldn't have to live like this. Let's get you an ultrasound. Let's get you to a surgeon. Let's get those fibroids out. Yes. Okay. Right. Huge, huge, huge. So I go get the ultrasound, and then I go to a surgeon that I was referred to by a family friend, and went in for my appointment thinking, okay, like, when are we going to get these bad boys out? And when I went in, she sat me down and was like, listen, you're 42. Are you going to have any more kids? And I said, no, God, no. Like, my youngest is 14. My oldest is almost 20. Like, we're not having babies anymore around these parts. I'm single, like, I'm good. So she said, I can remove all of these fibroids. It's, it's quite a surgery, but they are going to grow back. So at 42, like, why don't we just be done? Take it out. Let's get this over with. And to tell you the truth, that was probably one of the hardest days ever. It was probably the hardest week that I really have ever dealt with. Here I go, getting emotional. I was not at all prepared for the feelings that come along with deciding to get a hysterectomy, making the choice to know that you are no longer able to have kids. I don't want kids. I don't need any more kids. I have 2 amazing children of my own. I have plenty of amazing people in my life who have little babies or are still having babies, and I will love on them and give them right back, but I'm not having any more kids. But when she said that to me, I broke. My heart broke. My mom's heart was so shattered for probably a week. And honestly, I was so mad at myself in between being so emotional, because it was like, why are you crying? Why are you upset? This is everything you've been asking for years. But just, to let anybody out there know who is thinking about doing this, like, mentally prepare yourself and your little mom heart for grieving that part of your life, because it really is something, and it's something that I didn't expect. I wasn't ready for. And even though I'm emotional now, I'm so A-okay with it. Please know that. But it is just, it's a hard thing to take in and really, like, accept that my time as like a baby maker is officially done. So anyway, got through the grieving process, and ended up going to see a different surgeon who I had actually been referred to off of TikTok, no less, who worked in the same facility as the first surgeon I saw, but I had already been wanting to see her. I'd already scheduled an appointment months ahead of time with her just to see her as a gynecologist. So it worked out perfect. Went and saw her. She absolutely agreed with the first surgeon, like, let's be done with this. So we scheduled it out. I want to say it was like 8 to 10 weeks out, because, this wasn't an emergency. This wasn't like somebody who has, extreme reasons why you need to have one super quickly. So it gave me plenty of time to prep and prepare, and then, went in and did the damn thing. I am 2 weeks and 2 days post-surgery. I feel good. I'm definitely sore. I will make another video on what that all looks like. I do apologize. I had fully planned on vlogging the day of for the surgery, but I really wasn't prepared for the feelings and emotions that come with the risks that you have to accept going into a major surgery, and anesthesia, and what your health looks like and all of that. So honestly, the morning of surgery, I was a freaking mess. Last thing I thought about was pulling out my phone and recording. So I apologize. I'm kind of bummed at myself for not, getting all of that down. But regardless, I can talk about all of it for sure. And I am really lucky. My surgeon is going to come on and do a podcast with me to share with you guys literally start to finish this entire process. She's bringing my charts. She's going to bring the pictures. She's going to break it all down as to why she chose the surgery that she did and the methods she used and what that looks like, and to answer all of your guys' questions. So super stoked about that. That'll be coming up here in the near future. And then obviously I plan on making more videos to give you guys all the details of what this has looked like and what it looks like moving forward. What I would love from you guys is if you could comment below what questions you have. What do you want to know about? What are you curious about? Because I want to make sure that these videos are as helpful and useful to as many people as possible. I want to make sure that I cover all the information that anybody and needs, wants, is looking for. So I will be back with more videos to come on what this whole thing plays out like, but please let me know what I can help with. I am an open book. I'm willing to share any of it and all of it. So I just want to make sure that I get the right info out for you. So let me know what you guys want to know about, and I'll be back soon to chat some more.